With Reforger exercise, the emphasis is on simulation, with the scenarios written to exercise logistical concepts. Even at this initial point, capability challenges exist.
Snafu with the bus down at 21st, and we've got that thing fixed. This question to me was that we leave it.
So far, the exercise is going just like we planned. We're understanding more and more just how important the force reception and onward movement mission is.
The drive behind the military operation is only part simulation. The make-believe situations are designed to reflect real-world events.
The training we're getting here will allow us to accept any mission. We could go anywhere in the world. A seaport is a seaport, an airport is an airport.
With the NATO cancellation of Operation Dragon Hammer, Reforger 93 is almost exclusively a logistical exercise. Over the next few weeks, a number of Army concepts about support and supply will be tested, developed, and validated. In Kaiserslautern, Germany, Gail McCabe, 21st AECOM.
As the Combined Task Force for Operation Provide Comfort passes its second anniversary, routine tasks like making phone calls seems to fade into the background of day-to-day operations. But as Airman Leslie Gilderson reports, one component of CTF works closely with Incirlik's Air Base's own communications squadron to ensure those phone calls and other important aspects of communications go through without a hitch.
Combined Task Force C6 comprises Army and Air Force members and is in charge of tactical communications for the base. 2 satellite links provide communications to the United States and Europe, and a tactical switch provides phone service through satellite links to phones on base. C6 is responsible for roughly half of the DSN volume to the U.S. and Europe. The Signal Site OIC, Lieutenant Cynthia Duncan, says the host comm squadron and C6 members need to work hand in hand.
There's a very fine line between the 39th Comm Squadron and CTF C6. It's hard to tell where they start and where we end. We help them when we have the personnel with some of their actions, and without their support, we couldn't get anything done that we do here. We have only 36 people TDY, which would not be enough to do our mission without the Comm Squadron's help.
The equipment, which is designed to be tactical, has been at Incirlik for 22 months now, carrying on with mission-essential calls and radio communications 24 hours a day.
With the extra 2,000 people that CTF has, the base's communications assets would be overloaded. We're here basically to give them the extra that they need to support Operation Provide Comfort.
The 17 Army and 19 Air Force members are TDY from bases in Italy and Germany. All work 12-hour shifts around the clock. Sergeant Ronald Sangster is the NCOIC of the automatic switch. He says that although they do support Incirlik's comm squadron, their primary mission is Operation Provide Comfort.
We work solely for CTF in support, and it's actually whoever they tell us needs a phone, whoever requests the phone from CTF.
Another satellite is set up in the base comm compound. Staff Sergeant Quinard McDonald, the SATCOM 86 NCOIC, explains what is unique about this equipment.
It's special in that it's only 5 of these terminals in the world. We're able to become a SATCOM center as well as a tech control and a switching station all in the same band. Therefore, we wouldn't need to have a tech control or a switching center right here.
The men and women of CTF C6 form a vital part of Operation Provide Comfort, making sure the Task Force Communications Network and the Base Communications Network keep working together. Airman Leslie Gilderson, Air Force Television News, Incirlik Air Base, Turkey.
Army hospitals are looking for a civilian doctor to perform abortions. Major General Michael Scotty, commander of 7th MEDCOM, told AFN News that refusal by Army doctors to perform the controversial surgery prompted the search for another solution. The civilian doctor would work out of a U.S. military facility. Officials have said that the hospital would probably become a centralized abortion facility for all the military services in Europe. Patients electing an abortion would be charged the $477 a day outpatient rate, even if they are active duty military. A spokeswoman says that that price is cheaper than cost at a private clinic in Europe, but military members would forfeit some of their privacy. The abortion would become part of their official medical records. Well, life in the 20th century requires an understanding of the earth we occupy. For a team of USARA soldiers, it also means maintaining the environmental health levels within the European theater. Gail McCabe reports on one aspect of their mission.
We take the purity of our water for granted, but it's not unusual to hear about contamination. However, in USARA, the folks at the 10th Med Lab make it their business to make sure that our water is safe. Drinking water originates from streams or from wells. The process from earth to glass involves a trip through miles of pipes and filters. The objective is clean, safe drinking water. The samples taken by the 10th Med Lab are tested for a variety of substances. In this part of Germany, runoff from pesticides is a concern.
A lot of farmers use a lot of stuff, and sometimes it takes years to get through the ground to the groundwater level.
Wastewater or sludge also makes its way back into the natural flow. The wastewater sites are designed to filter the dirty water through a series of cleaning tanks and layers of lava rock. Constant monitoring by the 10th Med Lab keeps the community safe from hazardous contamination.
Sometimes we get a lot of problems with cadmium, and it usually comes from paint shops. We do a lot of industrial wastewater sampling, and we have a lot of problems. There's some wastewater treatment facilities that get high cadmium in their sludge, and that's almost impossible for them to get rid of.
The quality of the groundwater is also affected by what we put in the earth. More on this in our next report. In Kaiserslautern, Germany, Gail McCabe, 21st TACOM.
Specialist Brett Billings is soon to be a civilian. In the third part of his series on the ACAP program, Brett tells about some of the resources that are helping him in his job search.
Following the seminar and workshop portions of the process, it was time to visit the local ACAP office. The staff assisted me in utilizing the Defense Outplacement Referral System, or DOORS. Counselors provide step-by-step instructions on all the most important blocks of the registration form.
Probably one of the most important is Section 14,
Okay.
where you will be filling in about your personal competencies and the skills that you have developed.
Once completed, the mini resume is entered into the computer network, where it stays in the system for 3 months. During that time, any of over 22,000 employers can access it. It's a service that does the legwork for the transitioner.
The advantage is there are employers that are going to be pulling this that you aren't even aware of. I mean, there are thousands out there possibly who could be looking into this.
But before creating one of these DOORS mini profiles, it's a good idea to have a full-blown resume in hand.
You need to already have your 10, 12, 20 years already summarized down to a page and a half, and it would be easy to pull 10 lines from that.
It's by utilizing DOORS, transition bulletin boards, and other ACAP resources that one can ease the way into a new civilian career. Specialist Brett Billings, AFN News.
And while Brett is going through the ACAP program, the first DoD-sponsored job fair in Europe was a big success for both soldiers and employers. ACAP officials say 700 applicants left the job fair with job offers. Lon Blair reports on soldiers' attempts to trade BDUs for a business suit.
I'm responsible for several
Captain Scott Carpenter is job hunting.
I am fishing for a job. With the drawdown that the military is going through, the opportunities are getting smaller and smaller each day, and I am just looking to see what is available in the civilian world.
The 5th Corps Artillery Staff Officer was one of approximately 1,500 job seekers who crammed the Larson NCO Club on Sunday and Monday. 38 private companies plus a handful of state and federal agencies were on hand, and all of them were in a hiring mood. Captain Carpenter had thought about making a career of the Army, but these days he's not so sure.
There are fewer positions available for soldiers and officers as they advance in rank. And that is one of the reasons I am here fishing today.
As he tries to land a civilian job, Captain Carpenter has a college degree and 6 years of military service to lure in employers. That mix, according to Tom Vandersteen of Schneider National Trucking, would make Captain Carpenter a good catch.
We find the applicants that we find in the military to show a lot of skills that we look for in the private sector. Most of the educational background as well come from a premier school, so book smarts are there, and as young men and women they get to apply at the early age of 22, 23 years of age to manage a group of people, and that carries over well into the private sector.
Captain Carpenter didn't receive a job offer on this day, but he made some contacts and remains optimistic about his chances.
I was looking at transportation jobs. I was looking for just your general managerial job.
And Eris is a fast dog. unlike many on the police force, AFRTS has a partner, Airman James Dubois.
Well, he's dual certified. He's patrol certified and explosive certified, which means he'll be allowed to patrol around base. And for any incidents that might require him to be let off leash to go get somebody or to attack somebody, to hold him for a security policeman to go up and apprehend him, that's one of his duties. His other duty being explosive certified, which he's tasked for any mission that they might consider like a suspicious item or a bomb threat. He's used in them kind of atmospheres.
But what about all this sniffing and chasing? Isn't that a lot of work?
Oh, no, it's not really work for the dog. The dog's got a very high sense of smell, and all its levels of senses are much stronger than human beings. So just when I take him off on a task like to search something, that's not really work for him, because he's going to hit the odor, if there is an odor present, and he's going to sit, he's going to get rewarded, whether it be food or by ball. So that's a reward for him. That's really something he's just looking forward. He's searching actually for the reward. So that isn't really a work for him. As far as patrol, their controlled aggression, when you send them off, that's actually, they're very high on prey kill. So when they get to go off on leash and go actually get to bite something and overcome something, that's something they enjoy. That's something they live for. So no, the dog's not really working. It's something they actually enjoy.
A man and his dog, a cop and his canine, both helping keep things safe for you and I. Army Sergeant Tim Donahue, AFN News.
And tomorrow is the big day at the Hessen Bowling Center in Hanau. The 10th annual Golden Bowling Ball Tournament kicks off with almost 120 teams expected to take part in the fun. The center spent the day making last-minute adjustments on the equipment and making sure the lanes are just right. It's a big money tourney with a total purse of over 100,000 marks. Ken Arnold is the tournament promotions director, and he explains why the Golden Bowling Ball Tournament is better than the rest.
Other tournaments, you go into a bowling center and you think you're in an alley, but you go. They take over a tournament, takes over a center like they find it. And your tournament starts at X hours and closes the next day at X hours, and that was it. But our tournament, we come in and we decorate the center. We put all kinds of things on the wall. We got our large banner up front. You can see in the background, and we just change the whole atmosphere.
The action kicks off tomorrow evening at 5:15 at the Hessen Bowling Center in Hanau. Dodge, Germany celebrated the 5th grade oral reading and 6th grade storytelling festival at Argonner Elementary School in Hanau. Airman Tricia Hearn caught some of the oral reading competition and filed this report.
Mrs. Gunn, she's always causing trouble at home.
You can never be told enough about the importance of reading both at home and in school. The oral reading competition gave 5th graders across Germany a chance to present their stories in a competitive atmosphere. To some, the stage wasn't very threatening.
I felt pretty relaxed. I don't have a problem with stage. I feel more nervous afterwards.
But for others, it was a different story.
My heart felt like it was going to come out of my chest.
The stories were unique and well presented.
They were outstanding. I just enjoyed listening to every single one of them. We laughed and chuckled.
This competition proved that reading can be fun and also very important. Airman Tricia Hearn, AFN News.
And kids are in the news all this month. Not only is April the month of the military child, it's also Child Abuse Prevention Month. The Sembach Library honored its military children with a storytime hour filled with food, fun, and fur. Sergeant Mike Wetzel explains.
When does a library become a library? When a lot of bears drop in for a visit. Even the rich and famous bears made time for the Sembach Library's Teddy Bear Tea Party. They were on the bookshelves, underneath the tables, and in the arms of 39 children who showed up to help these cuddly Bruins wake up from their long winter snooze. Kid and bear alike listened intently to storyteller Tricia Sepiel, who had all the bear facts.
Arthur was very surprised when
Tricia works at the Sembach Family Support Center and helps with events for Month of the Military Child and Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Part of our focus on doing Month of the Military Child is to make parents aware of the fact that their children do a lot of special things for us and adapt. They change, they lose their friends, their families left behind. They really have a lot of special stresses that go along with being a military child that don't necessarily happen to civilian children.
Not everybody had their favorite fuzzy, but Tricia had plenty of bear to spare. Over 450 bears prowl about her home and office. She says a collection like this is not unusual in a military home.
Having been a military child myself, we moved around a lot, and instead of a place coming to mean home, things came to mean home, amongst which were bears.
What was your favorite bear story?
The one with the brown bear.
And why did you like the brown bear?
Because he was nice.
Okay. Is this bear nice? How do you know this bear is nice?
Because he doesn't bite.
These bears don't growl either. They're pretty good listeners, and they love giving a hug. If adults